All right, doing a little update on the yard and the fruit progression for the season on most of these trees, as well as disease resistance here in Apopka, Florida, slightly north of Orlando. It's been a really cold and wet winter. We're middle of March now, and it's still dropping down into the 50s. So very long winter for us. So it's definitely affected the flowers on some of these trees. So let's go ahead and document it. This is a cat leg guava. This tree is looking great. There's fruit all over it. Yeah, this recently went in the ground. And this tree has no problems fruiting or flowering. So that's a cat leg guava. Here we are with this is Allenport Banishan. This is a really young tree, and it didn't really seem to be much disease on these flowers, although it mostly produced males. It does seem like it trying to set some fruit here and there, which I'm probably not going to let the tree hold on to. But yeah, that's Allenport Banishan. This is Seacrest, also known as triple sec. And this tree is in a 25 gallon pot, or maybe even a 15 gallon actually. But this tree doesn't seem to have any problems with disease. It's setting a ton of fruit so far. You see these empty panicles here? This tree actually fell down this way, and it hit the wall and it knocked down all the fruit that were on those panicles, which is why I staked it up. But you can see there's a good amount of fruit set. We'll see if the fruit stay healthy. And you can see on the flowers, these are all dried up, but there is no signs of disease on it. So I can get up close here. This is a Ruby Supreme guava. Not doing much as far as flowering, but it's a nice, healthy looking tree. This is a Sao Paulo custard apple, just starting to wake up now from the winter. We'll see if it decides to set fruit this, well, I guess next season at this point. This is a coconut cream, and this tree is also looking very healthy. See if I can keep it from swaying in the wind. It's already at the end of its flowering stage, and I don't see much disease at all on these flower panicles, and it's looking like it's just starting to set some fruit. You can probably see there, it's swaying in the wind, but you can actually see little tiny fruits starting to set. And yeah, zero disease on coconut cream. There's Morgan having the time of his life, rolling in the grass. So I've noticed a correlation with early flowers and disease. Coconut cream was one of my later trees to flower, so maybe that's why there's no disease on it. But my earliest trees to flower seem to have the most disease on it. The weather was really cold at the beginning of the season and really wet, so maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, that's an interesting data point. Coconut cream, still a young tree, but seems to be doing well. This is an orange sherbet tree, and this tree decided to push out growth for the most part. It has got a few panicles here and there. Also very clean. It's set a few fruit, but nothing crazy. It's only got a handful of panicles on it. Everything else is new growth. I decided to experiment with this tree and tried grafting onto it, which, you know, every new tree owner decides to do at some point. Probably wasn't the best idea. As you can see, there's a, I don't even remember, I think it's a lemon zest graft on there. But yeah, I decided mostly to push out new growth. All this is new growth, which is fine. It's also a young tree, so that's orange sherbet, looking nice and healthy. This is an oro negro avocado. This is a very slow growing tree. I planted it about 2 years ago, and it doesn't look like it seems to have grown at all. But it's in full bloom right now, looking super healthy. Probably not letting this hold any fruit, but it's good to see that it's blooming, because a lot of people complain about oro negro being a shy producer. So we'll see if it sets any fruit for us. This is Venus, and Venus in my yard here in Apopka, Florida, seems to get hit with anything and everything. It gets hit by the Sri Lankan weevils really bad on the leaves. So you can see it just looks super chewed up. Maybe there's something else attacking it too, because all the young growth comes out looking kind of weird. And it got hit by powdery mildew really bad. So here's a look at that. You can see how the tip of that panicle is full of powdery mildew. Maybe you can't see. Let's see for focus. Okay, well, yeah. So you'll have to trust me. The tips of those panicles are full of powdery mildew. Even now that the flowers have mostly fallen off, it is holding on to some fruit, but not a lot. Most of them got tore up by the powdery mildew. You can see here, this panicle is see the powdery mildew there on the tip, and those fruit will likely fall off, would be my guess. But we'll see if some of these fruit that broke through will stay on. It'll be interesting to see. So this is Venus mango. Over here we have, and I should mention, Venus mango did flower on the earlier side, which seems to correlate with the powdery mildew. This tree is Super Alfonso, and Super Alfonso flowered, I would say, like on the later side. And it seems to be setting a ton of fruit, even though it did get some powdery mildew. So probably see there's just fruit all over this tree, despite there being some powdery mildew on it. Seems like the powdery mildew on this tree took a while to set in, but it did eventually set in. It's like a little twin fruit. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this is a strong fruit setter. There's fruit on every panicle. And it looks, I mean, it might be too early to tell, but it looks like it's gonna These fruit are gonna break through the powdery mildew, no problem. That's Super Alfonso. Over here we have a Catalina avocado. My mom gifted to me, also in bloom. It's a tiny little tree. Also hasn't really grown much since I planted it. It's got a lanky growth structure, but we'll let it do its thing for now. Maybe trim it later in the season. This is CAC or CAC mango. This is supposed to be one of those insurance mangoes for a lot of people. It did get hit pretty bad with powdery mildew for me. It was an earlier bloomer, not my earliest, but close to it. And the powdery mildew did knock off most of the fruit, but some of them broke through, like you can see here and here. These are already decently sized fruit. Got some more fruit over here on the CAC mango. So you can still see on like these panicles, there's still powdery mildew on them. So yeah, that's CAC mango. Did get hit with powdery mildew. Pretty bad. But I still decided to set fruit. I should mention that I don't spray anything on any of my mangoes. I don't spray any chemicals. I'm kind of experimenting for the first few years. I want to see what's resilient and what isn't. So we'll see. This will be an ongoing experiment for the next few years. This is fruit punch mango. This was my first tree to flower. Also the first, the worst to get hit by the powdery mildew. Despite that, there's a bunch of fruit that broke through. Time will tell if they stay on or not. But yeah, fruit punch mango got hit really bad with powdery mildew. I suspect it has something to do with how early it flowered. But as you can see, there's a decent amount of fruit on it. We'll see if they stay on or not. These fruit are on the larger side. Well, I mean, not large, obviously, but they're not just little BBs. Very windy today, so it's been windy for a while. But sorry if the audio's all messed up. This is improved pollock, little 1 gallon that got run over by my lawnmower the other day. This tree obviously is too small to do anything, but it's nice to see that it wants to flower. It flowered last year as well. It has a tiny little 1 gallon. It's probably slowed it down a little bit, but yeah, that's improved pollock. This is Maria Black avocado, looking nice, but not doing anything as far as flowers go. This is my Monroe avocado, which doesn't have any flowers on it right now. It's full of swollen buds, but time will tell if they are flowers or new growth. Come this way. These are some miracle fruit trees back here. One here. here. This is a red hybrid Apopka. I struggle with these trees. I don't know if it's because they are under this oak canopy and they aren't getting enough sunlight, but they seem to go chlorotic on me and just not grow at all. They just kind of always look like that, you know, like slightly defoliated and a little bit on the yellow side. This is a runny avocado that I recently planted in a 3-gallon right here. It's doing its thing. I always forget to show this tree. This is a ugly Betty mango that I've moved around a few too many times and kind of stunted it. Hasn't really done much in the past couple years, and it actually did try to flower, but the flowers, like, it aborted them like fairly early on. But hopefully this tree gets to recover this year. This is another red hybrid. As you can see, like, it's like lacking foliage. And this is a Sabra. Doing a little bit better than the red hybrids, but still not great. This is another Sao Paulo red custard apple, just starting to wake up from the winter. And this is an ice cream mango. This tree is supposed to get hit with a lot of disease. There's a little bit of powdery mildew on it, but not much. And it did set some fruit, not a ton. It had a lot of male flowers, but you can see there's some fruit hiding on the inside of this canopy. So that's ice cream. It did get hit with powdery mildew, although not as bad as some of my other trees. This is sugarloaf mangoes. This is a small tree. This produced in these huge, beautiful, completely full flower panicles of 100% male flowers. So no fruit set, but also no disease on sugarloaf. So hopefully it does better for us in a few years. This is Honey Kiss. Honey Kiss is a workhorse. Sorry, there's just seems like every loud truck wants to pass by right now. I have a fire truck. Alright, so Honey Kiss. There's a cotton candy graft on it. I decided to flower. That's always disappointing. But hopefully it grows out for us. Just experimenting there. I like cotton candy more than I like Honey Kiss, but I know Honey Kiss is a better producer and super healthy tree. See, there's no disease whatsoever on those flower panicles, and as you can see, this is a good angle here. There's an abundance of fruit on it. Over here is white puree. This mango got hit super hard with powdery mildew. It's like one little fruit that was set there. It also produced mostly male flowers, but it is a young tree. But yeah, this is a candidate to be removed or replaced because I think for most people it gets hit really hard by powdery mildew. I'll probably give it a few more years and see if it breaks through the powdery mildew once it starts producing more female flowers. But yeah, that's white peary. And then recently in the ground, I don't plan on putting many trees in my front yard, but I did want to put one sapodilla in the front over here. And this is a Silas wood. So you can see it is flowering and setting through all at once and growing. This tree is just doing all sorts of stuff. It did get these weird brown spots on the leaves right after I planted them. Not sure what that's from. If you know, if anybody knows, please let me know. But yeah, I have picked fruit off this tree already, and it's delicious. I love sapodilla. That's probably mango, custard apple, or I'll add a tie for my number one. Sapodilla following it at a second or third place. I wouldn't mind getting another tree just because as much as I like the flavor of Silas woods and Silas wood, and I like that it stays compact. The fruit are small, and I kind of like just indulging when I eat sapodilla. So I would like to add, I don't know, maybe like a hacia or one of those that are along the more refreshing end. I tend to prefer that flavor profile. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Alano. I just find them like a little too mamey-ish. I'm not a big fan of that mamey-ish flavor in sapodilla. I prefer the more refreshing, bright flavored ones. So that's my Silas wood sapodilla, freshly in the ground. And then come around here and we're back to the Catle guava. So that is my yard tour. It's a side profile of Mango's Row.